Welcome back to another Sunday prep day. If you're new here, every Sunday I prep for the week, so that means cutting all my vegetables and making things that take a little bit longer. So today I'm going to be making a roasted salsa. If you've watched my channel before, I've made this a bunch of times. I'm just going to go real quick, but for people that haven't watched any of my videos before, I'll show you. But yeah, it'll be a condensed version. So here I have some tomatoes, just a bunch of them. And I have some shallots that I just peeled. So those can go in, they can go on the bottom. Here I have a whole head of garlic. I'm going to turn it on its side. I'm going to cut right across the equator. And what that is going to do is later on when I want to squeeze everything out, this is all readily available to get squeezed. But I do want to keep it together for now, so I'm going to wrap it in some foil. So that can go in as well. Let me quickly get rid of the papers. What I'm also going to do is add some chilies. You can use any chili you like. I'm going to use jalapenos. So I'll do 6, and I'll also add a pepper. So the pepper is going to go on top, and the chilies as well, because I want the skin of those to blacken so I can peel them. So, and the tomatoes and the onions or shallots can go on the bottom. They'll get slightly less heat. So I've preheated my Ninja Foodi on grill. The highest it goes, 240 Celsius. And I'm just going to put that basket in there. I'll add a little bit of oil. And the reason I'm doing it in a basket is mostly to catch all the juices, because I want to use those. So, hot Ninja Foodi. You can also grill this in or broil this in your oven, but this is just easiest for me. I'll do 10 minutes first. It's going to take like 20 to 30 minutes. But I want to flip everything because, like I said, I want to blacken the skin. So after 10 minutes, I'm going to flip the peppers and the chilies so the other side can get some color too. And give it another 10 minutes, check, and maybe flip again. We'll just see how long it takes before everything is done. So, in the meantime, I just wanted to get that started so I can work on my vegetables. And that will be done by the time I'm done with chopping. So I'm going to cut all my vegetables, and I will... Oh, there's a little bad piece on the inside. I will go over my meal plan while I'm chopping. Got a little unfortunate with my onion here. The inside was a little bad, but it's just like 2 layers, so not the end of the world. So I'll just give this a slice. For breakfast this morning, yes, I had breakfast. That doesn't happen very often. Just had some yogurt with some blueberries, because I picked some blueberries up at the market. And then for lunch today, I'm going to have some sandwiches. I don't usually have carbs for lunch because I'm diabetic, have to cut carbs. But on the weekends I have my cheat days because I do like sandwiches, and I just have some ham. I'll slice up some cucumber. I have some lettuce. So, and then for dinner tonight, I'm going to do some shawarma with some flatbreads. I didn't make the flatbreads myself, I just bought some. And I'll have that with, I have a couple of different pickle options. So I have some pickled carrots, I have some pickled red cabbage, I have some pickled peppers. And I'll just have that with it. I have some store-bought tzatziki sauce to go with my shawarma. And I'll probably have some sliced cucumber left over. So I'll use that as well. I'll make a nice bowl out of it, or plate. So, and those pickled vegetables I'll use a couple of times this week. So, and the same with the roasted salsa, by the way. I will use that across several meals as well. So We were on Monday. I do meatless Mondays. And for lunch, I'm going to do some hummus with some crudités. I just bought some hummus. But I'll do some sticks of peppers, a cucumber, carrot to go with my hummus. And then for dinner, I'm going to do some, I haven't fully decided yet. I'm going to do vegan tacos or vegetarian quesadillas. The only difference is if I add the cheese or not. So we'll just see. And that is with a lot of shredded carrot, some onion, some chilies, a little bit of cilantro, spring onion, lentils, and or beans. I haven't fully decided on that yet either. Both are really good. I can use a combination, but I'll just add a can of either or both. And I will also use the roasted salsa in that for flavoring. So I'm just slicing up some spring onions. Like I said, I'm going to use that in my tacos. And I'll probably also use that as a garnish for some of the bowls I'll be making this week, etc. So I'm just doing 2. Okay. And I have a couple of cloves of garlic that I'll use for several things. I'm just going to mince those up. So we were on Tuesday. For lunch, I'm going to do some chicken lettuce wraps. So that's chicken. I'll just marinate that probably in something like paprika, cumin, garlic powder, onion powder, chili powder or dried chipotle powder, stuff like that. And I'll have that in some lettuce leaves. I have some little gem for that. And I'll probably top that with some of the roasted salsa. I might also add some veggies like the onions, this garlic, peppers, chilies, etc. And then for dinner, I'm going to do some chicken fajitas. So that is marinated chicken. And I'll have some peppers, some onions, chilies, garlic. And again, I will serve that with the roasted salsa. That's the good thing about making a big batch, especially something that takes a little bit of time to make. You just reuse that in different ways. So it doesn't get stale. You know, you don't eat the exact same thing over and over, but you're still using the same components, so it takes less prep time. And then we were on Wednesday for lunch. I'm going to have a low-carb stir-fry with some chicken. So if you've not heard me say that before, I use broccoli stems instead of like rice or noodles. I don't do all the way to broccoli rice. Usually just cut it really fine. That's good enough for me. But I'll do some chicken, some other veggies. And I haven't fully decided on the seasoning yet. But I can do a bunch of different things just on the day. I'll look in my spice cabinet, see what appeals to me most. So, and then for dinner, I'm going to do a rice bowl with chicken. Yes, I bought a whole bunch of chicken yesterday. I stocked up the freezer, so you'll hear me mention chicken a lot the next couple of weeks. So, and again, that's with some lime cilantro rice with the roasted salsa. If I have some peppers, onions, chilies left over, I might saute some of them and put on top. Or I can do some pickles. I still have some pickled jalapenos as well. I might use those. So I'm just cutting up some chilies. You've heard me mention chilies a few times now when I went over the different dishes. So that will go in my tacos, in my stir fry, etc. So I have some cayenne, a red and a green. I'm just going to slice with the seeds in because they don't bother me. And I also have some jalapenos, which I will take the seeds off out of, because as you can see, there's just a lot more seed in it. So I'm quickly gonna remove those, and I'll give those a quick slice. In the meantime, we were on Thursday for lunch. I'm gonna do some more lettuce wraps with chicken. So depending on how many veggies and salsa I have left, I might do that, or I might make like a chicken salad kind of thing. We'll just see. And for dinner, I'm gonna do a noodle bowl with chicken. So I have some teriyaki sauce. I'll do chicken with that. I'll have some noodles with that. Have some frozen peas that I'll use. I was going to get some edamame, but they didn't have them in stock. But peas will work just fine. I might use some of the pickles as well. So I'm just going to take the seeds out of these peppers. Oh, by the way, the pepper I put in there is the same as these. These are not chilies. These are sweet peppers. They're just the pointy variety. I think they're called Anaheim. But yeah, let me quickly de-seed the rest as well. And while I was de-seeding those, my Ninja Foodi beeped at me, so 10 minutes have gone. So things are just starting to blacken a little bit. So I'm just gonna flip things around. And I'll give that another 10 minutes. Then the peppers, I'm gonna use a couple of different ways. If you want to follow along, by the way, every time I post the Sunday Prep Day video, I also prep over on Instagram with all the ingredients that I'll be using, the meal plan and everything. And for my crudités, I need some sticks. So I'm going to cut those first, because I also need some slices, and this is, because it's pointy, it's not the right size for sticks for my crudités. So I'll use that for some slices. And I'll repeat that until I have enough sticks. So I'll make sure I'll do some red and some green for that. And when I have enough slices, the last little bits, I'll just cut into little dices. So to recap, the sticks are for the crudités, the slices are mostly for the fajitas because I don't want that to burn when I saute that on high heat, and then the dices are just for the other things like the stir fry and stuff. So next up, we have some cucumber. So I'm just gonna cut a square piece or straight piece about the same size as the sticks for my carrots, for my peppers. And I'll cut those into sticks for my crudités. I'll cut around the core because I don't want to use the core, because that's not really the best for dipping because it's kind of floppy. And I'll just have that as a snack in a moment. And then these parts I'll just cut into nice sticks. And I'll do that for 2 of these cucumbers. I think that's actually enough for sticks. And then these pieces, again, I need some slices, so the easiest way to do that is just use the leftovers from making the sticks. And those are for like sandwiches and stuff, and if I have some left over tonight, I'll throw some on my shawarma bowl as well. And these Persian cucumbers were a bit on the bigger side, so I think 2 are enough. I like using these Persian cucumbers because they just have a lot of flavor in them. But I wrote down 3, but looking at the volume, I think 2 is enough. So, sticking with the stick theme, again, I want some carrot. So I'll cut these smaller ones in half. Again, about the same size as the peppers and the cucumber. And depending on how thick they are, I'm going to cut them into half or in quarters. This is slightly thicker, so I'll do quarters. And again, from cutting sticks to a specific size, I have some bits of carrot left over. And I need some slices or half slices for my stir fry. So I'm just gonna cut the tops off, cut them in half, and I'll just give them a slice. And by the way, these are washed, so I'm not gonna bother peeling them. Does not bother me at all. So, and then I'll grab another container. Here I have my julienne slicer. You can cut this by hand, you can use a grater. My preferred tool of choice is the julienne slicer. You could also just do it by hand, but this is quicker. Because I need some shredded carrot for my vegan tacos or vegetarian quesadillas. And I'll just do that real quick. And before I forget, let's finish the meal plan. We were on Friday. I do fish Fridays. I'm going to have some lettuce wrapped with salmon for lunch. And then for dinner, I'm going to do some quinoa with some tilapia and probably some of the pickled vegetables, maybe some more of the peas. And I'll see what kind of sauce or seasoning I'm going to use on the tilapia. But yeah, I'll just quickly work through this carrot. That is carrots done. And then here I have my broccoli stems that I saved from last time. It's a waste to throw those away. The one thing I did do was a little remnants of leaves and stuff. I took those off. And we're going to use all of this except for the very bottom part because this is kind of woody and dry. So you can grate it if you want to, but this is fine enough for me. Just going to cut all the way to the end bit, not all the way through, so everything is still attached, which makes things easier. Just cut one way and then across for a nice fine dice, and that's fine enough for me to go in my stir fry. You can do it as fine or as coarse as you like, but and like I said, end bit, that can go away. The rest is all fair game, and yeah, this is the consistency that I like. And I'll just get that in a container, and I'll do the rest of these stems. And yeah, this size is just a perfect compromise for me between how much effort it is to cut down and how long it takes to cook, because the finer it is, the quicker it cooks, but this is perfect for me. Then I have some cilantro. I have 2 bunches. One I'm going to use in my lime cilantro rice, and the other I'm going to do my salsa. So I'm just going to leave the stems. Those are perfect for things like curry paste. And this bunch I'll just cut nice and fine for my lime cilantro rice. I'll just keep running my knife through until it's the consistency that I like. And this bunch I'm also going to cut the stems off. And this I'll just give a rough chop, mostly so when I blend this, sometimes when you have light things that are quite a lot of volume, they get stuck on the top and they don't really go down. So I'm just preventing that by quickly running my knife through, and that's really all it needs, so that can go in my bowl for my blender. And that is my Ninja Foodi again. Things are definitely starting to blacken. I'll do 5 more minutes. In the meantime, I'm just gonna take a lime and I'm gonna juice that in where my cilantro is and where I'm gonna make my salsa. And yeah, so far it's taken 27 minutes to do all of this. And now I just need to wait for that to be done. And while I'm waiting for my Ninja Foodi, I'm just gonna put away all the things I don't need anymore. So as you can see, the skin has blackened. So, and the nice thing about this basket is I can just easily take it out so it can cool down. And that's exactly what it needs to do before I can take the skin off the peppers and the chilies, because it's way too hot to handle now. So I'm gonna let this cool, and then I'll be back in a moment to finish the salsa. Okay, everything is cooled down enough so I can actually handle it. So I'm just gonna take the stem off, open my peppers like a book so I can take the seed parts out. And then the skin should come off really easily, just like that, because it is blackened, so it will release very easily. The inside can just go in with my cilantro and my lime juice, and I'll just finish this for my peppers and my chilies. Again, with the chilies, just take the top off, open it up, scoop out the seeds. Don't want those. And then you can just easily scoop out the insides. And then the tomatoes, I left them on the vine so I can just take the vine off, but the tomatoes can just go in whole. The shallots can go in whole as well. Then we have the garlic. I can just take that out of its packaging. And because we cut it in half, I can just easily squeeze out all that goodness. So I'll do that with both halves. And a whole head of garlic might sound like a lot, but because we roasted it, it's really mellowed. So now we take the basket and pour all the juices right in there as well, because that is full of flavor, so you want to make sure you get that in. So now I'm gonna add some cumin. I'll add some salt. So just to recap, as we put the lid on, I have roasted some tomatoes, pepper, chilies, shallots, garlic, and I combined that with some fresh cilantro, lime juice, salt, and cumin. And I'm just going to blitz this until it's smooth, and I'll give that a little taste. Salt is on point. Nice amount of spice because we took most of the seeds out, so it's not overly spicy. But I can use a little bit more acidity, so I'm just going to take this lemon. You can use a lemon or a lime, and I'll just juice that in. And I'll actually just do half a lemon, so the other half I'll just save. And I'm just going to put the lid back on and pulse this to combine the lemon. Give that another taste. Yeah, that makes everything nice and bright. So that's all the prep work done for this week. I can now have lunch or dinner on the table in minutes. And by preparing all the components, I'm still flexible because I haven't prepared the whole meals. And I have a nice salsa that I can use in a couple of different meals, so nice and efficient. If you like this kind of content, I do this every single Sunday. And if you'd like to see what I ultimately do with all of this, you can check out my Instagram where I post every single meal, or you can check out the video that I post about once a month on here where I show you everything I eat in a day for a whole week. And I just posted one this last Friday. So if that all sounds good to you, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and thank you for watching. Until next time, bye for now.